Hello. Thought we'd start off today with showing you our rivals' onions. This is Paul's patch. He always does really well at the village show with his onions, and Rose decided to challenge him to an onion growing competition. He's doing really well. He's had a good idea with this fence. I never seem to be able to grow onions, but we don't give up. We'll keep having another go. Let's go and see our plot. Look, there's an onion. Well, there are a couple more. Can you just see them in the row, in amongst the weeds? Now this patch got terribly waterlogged. And we haven't been able to get down here and weed just yet. It's not too bad now, so it does need weeding. What's happened is the rabbits, I suppose, look, where are they there? Been nibbling the tops. So it just looks like a bed of weeds, but there are onions in there all the way up to the edge. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of onions in there. So I hope we get something, but they don't look as nice as Paul's. So we're going to try something else as well. As you know, we are mostly no dig, and we're just starting off again this year. So we have this bed. Last year it had broad beans and celeriac in it, and we just picked the last of the celeriac, and it's just compost at the moment, and I've been assured that that will be too light for growing onions because I need something to press against. So we've bought a bag of topsoil, and Rose is going to tip it in now. Oh, bring the bag forward. So I'll go and sort that out, and we'll give it a mix in. I just wanted to show you this. Last year we're making little herb beds. Excuse all the grass, but making little herb beds. And I just wanted to show you this compost. We had a real problem with the John Innes, the Levington with John Innes compost, and I used it because I had stuff to go in the ground, and I went back to our garden centre and explained, and this was September, and they said, we can give you more compost. And I said, well, I don't want any now. Can I come back in the spring? And I can't lift it on my own, so, and Nick was at work, so anyway, we went there the other day, and I explained to them that I was there to collect the compost I was owed. And they very kindly gave me 3 more bags, they replaced them, of the Levington with John Innes. Now obviously since September they've gotten rid of that batch ages ago. So we're going to open the bags and see what we have. Right, here it is. They've changed the look of the bag, although it's the same stuff. And I'm just going to top up our strawberry bed with it. So let's open and see what's inside. Right, here we go. Doesn't look too bad from here. Let's give it a go. There's more stones in it than I would like. A bit of plastic there. Yes, can you see? There is quite a lot of stones in that. And little bits of plastic. Now I've never had any trouble, more plastic, with the compost that I've bought before. But last year and this year, it seems John Innes have got a problem. But it's not as bad as last year's, which you can see the stones are still there. That's the trouble. Once you've emptied the bag, you can't do anything about it. It's on the ground and you've usually got something to go in, so you need to use it there and then. I think I'll have to let the garden centre know what's happened with this batch too. Right, another thing we're up to down here today is sowing our sweet corn. And this is the one we've got. We had great success last year, and I can't remember which one we bought. I think it was an Unwin's, but it might have been, you know, one of the ones that's for children. It might have been one of those. I just picked it up in Tesco, and that's where I got these ones from, to be honest. So we are going to pot these. There are about 35 seeds in each packet, and I've got 2 packets because we really love sweet corn. So we've filled some of our pots here. I've run out of compost, but so it's 1 centimetre deep. I'm going to make some holes, and Rose is going to sow the seeds. We've got a dibber, it's at home, but a stick does the trick. Right, that's quite a big pot. I think we can fit 2 in that one. The microphone's also at home, so excuse the wind. I'm trying to shield the mic whenever there's a gust of wind, but I'm not sure how successful I'm being with that. So last year we had loads of sweet corn, and what we did was we cooked some and broke them off and froze them as niblets, and we also just kept some on the cob. And that's what we're going to do again this year. What's your favourite, Rose? Is it corn on the cob or the niblets?
Or corn on the cob. But my favourite thing with corn is popcorn.
Oh, popcorn. We are going to grow some of that again this year as well. And we will show you that. I don't know if it will be this video. I'm going to try and get them done as soon as possible, our popcorn, but there's a special surprise with those because they're an extra special variety. But we'll show you those. Maybe this video, maybe next video. Now while Rose is filling those in, put back my special dibber. I've topped up the strawberry bed, so that is ready for our runners to go in. And I've put the topsoil on the onion bed here. And that's ready for the onions. Both the strawberries and the onions are at home. But we're only down the road and we need to go and get some lunch soon. So we'll come back with them after lunch. Now this bed, these are spring onions and leeks, and at the moment nothing in the back, a couple of weeds. So what I might do, I've got a bag of topsoil left. Oh look, the fox has been here too. Ugh. My defences over there for the leeks have worked. The fox is no longer pooing over there, but he's now come over here. So I'm going to have to get some more sticks. So what I might do is put the extra bag of topsoil on this bed and put some more onions in here, because we've got loads of onions ready to go out. They might not all fit in that bed, so we shall just have to see. Another thing that we have planned is we really like our raised beds, and we really I do like the grass, but the edges, we have a strimmer and they're okay. It's okay to do it. I have a very lightweight one so I can manage it, but when I strim it, the grass goes onto the beds and some of it takes seed. So what we're going to do, I've got some paving slabs from Freecycle, and we've got quite a few of them, so I'm hoping that we can put the paving slabs down in between all of our beds, and hopefully we'll have enough to do a line all the way around the outside. We shall see. Now those hula hoops, they were another Freecycle special, and when I saw the picture of them I thought it was 4 hula hoops, and I thought that would make a nice hooped frame to go over the beds, and I thought, had the onions in mind, but when you look at them, it's one giant hula hoop that's just twisted round. And when they're in the picture, I thought they were normal size hula hoops. Let's put it on the bed. But when Nick went to pick them up, they were quite small. In actual fact, they probably are going to work out well, because this is a 4-foot bed, as I've said before, 4 foot wide by 6 foot deep. I think that hoop is going to stretch over the entire bed. And I've only got 2, so we shall see. We shall see what we're going to do. We'll get the onions in, and we've got some netting, and I've got some rebar that we're going to put into the corners to stick the hoop ends over. We shall see how that goes a bit later. Now I think we're going to go home for lunch. Rose has finished the sweet corn, and we're going to go home for lunch and bring the strawberries back and the onions back. We'll see you soon. Right, we have had our lunch, and I've measured out this bed for the onions. I've managed to get 18 in this bed, which doesn't seem very many, but hopefully they'll grow big. At the front I've put the ones with the biggest green shoots, as you can see, and towards the back I chose the ones, once I'd got rid of all the ones that have the shoots on them, I chose ones with the biggest roots, and I've got a few left. This is what we started them off in the mushroom tray. And these are Red Baron. They're red onions, and hopefully they will do well. Now we are going to see about setting up a net. So I need both hands for that, so I'll show you when it is done. Okay, we have not been able to use these. Now when we first got them and I saw they were made of this, I thought, well, that's like the water pipe, the blue water pipe, and that will do great, but you can't get a good arch out of it. I think they're just too long, so they need cutting, but I don't have anything down here for the time being. So what I've done, you can see they're impossible to get an arch out of. Mind the cage, Poppy. Just put it back over there. So we're going to leave those for tonight. And I've just quickly chucked up, I've grabbed some canes. I've just chucked a net over it, so that should protect it from anybody that wants to eat our onions tonight. But it is it's getting cold down here, and I think Rose is getting hungry. Are you hungry for your dinner?
Yeah.
So So we're going to go home. And Daddy's working from home, isn't he, now? So so we can go home and he'll be there.
Making our dinner. Yum, yum, yum.
We shall see. It's a shame to leave the birds, isn't it? Because there's so many. I don't know if the camera's picking this up. It's so lovely. It's so noisy down here with the birds. They're really lovely. And this is such a nice, peaceful place to come and isolate. There's no one else down here. As I've said before, it gets very boggy down here. So everywhere is looking a bit of a mess. And it doesn't normally look like this. Nobody's really come down here after the winter yet. And our grass is all lumpy and needs cutting. We've just got to wait for it to dry out. So I think we will leave you there. We're not going through the strawberries today, but it's all prepared and ready to pop down maybe tomorrow and continue on then. And we'll see if we can chop up those hula hoops and create a better cage than this. It's not very steady. I don't expect it to last very long, but as I say, it'll protect it for today. Actually, before we go home, I've just pulled some of Rosie's spring onions. I noticed they were going to seed. Would have made a lovely flower. And this is where your seeds come. If you wanted to save them and grow again next year. Now I left them because I thought they were leeks. It nearly is the size of a leek. But when I pulled it up, it has a much stronger smell. So I knew it was spring onion. So we've got some spring onions in our dinner tonight. I don't know what we've got planned for dinner, but we usually have some kind of onion in our dinner. So we will use those. And I was just checking out our leeks over here, and I noticed we have a nice big fat one here. So I'm just going to pull that up. Let's see what we've got. Look at that. Lovely. So we shall add that to it, and we'll have those for dinner tonight with whatever we've got. And that's it. So now I definitely am going, and we will see you next time. Take care.